Hello, welcome back to the jungle life. Today, I've decided to take on a daring challenge. Not on the ground, this house will be suspended high above the ground. I'm going to build a secret cabin on this beech tree trunk. With only an axe, a handsaw, and the most rudimentary woodworking techniques. How will I transport tons of wood to such a height without machinery? What techniques will keep the house stable against the storms in the deep jungle? Bring me a cup of tea, and let's find out together now. Once the support frame was finished, I began laying the horizontal beams. The feeling of walking on the suspended wooden beams was truly unique. I used a spirit level to ensure the floor was perfectly flat. If the floor were tilted, the entire house would be subjected to dangerous shifting forces. When laying the floor, I didn't fit the planks together tightly. I left small gaps of about 3 millimeters between the planks. I begin by erecting the four main pillars at the four corners of the floor. This step determined the shape and squareness of the entire cabin. If the pillars were tilted, the walls would warp, making roof installation very difficult later. To connect the pillars to the floor, I used mortise and tenon joints. Instead of just nailing, the wooden joints securely locked the pillars to the floor beams. I didn't completely seal it off, leaving a large opening for a window. The window frame needs additional horizontal support beams. The top beam header helps distribute the roof load down to both sides of the window. The bottom beam sill is beveled slightly to allow rainwater to drain quickly. A properly positioned window will be the most vibrant picture. The roof frame was finished, rising proudly amidst the ancient forest canopy. Now it was time to cover the sky, creating a truly safe haven. I began laying the first layer of wooden planks directly onto the frame. Tin planks were fitted together tightly, forming the ceiling. The sound of hammers tapping echoed, regular like the heartbeat of the forest. Gradually, patches of blue sky disappeared, replaced by the yellow of the wood. This layer of wood served as both the ceiling and the main load-bearing support. The purpose of this base layer was to connect the rafters into a solid structure. It reinforced the entire roof structure against wind damage. However, even tightly fitted natural wood is susceptible to rainwater. If left exposed like this, water would seep through the gaps into the house. To remedy this, I covered the wooden floor with a special raincoat. It's black waterproof tar paper, also known as bitumen membrane. For the main door, I wanted to apply a Japanese technique. It's called shosugiban, using fire to protect the wood surface. I burned the surface of the door panels until they turned black. Then I used a wire brush to scrub away the charcoal dust. The fire hardened the wood surface, creating a natural, waterproof carbon layer. Insects and termites also hate the smell of burnt wood, so they will stay away. The door now has an antique dark brown color, beautiful and durable. The creaking sound of the wrought iron hinges is so pleasant to the ear. I added a simple wooden latch on the inside for locking. The house is now much more private, secure, and cozy. Back on the porch, I began finishing the porch. First, for added safety, I added the porch railing. The porch railing was made from branches with their bark intact. It retained the wild, rustic look of a true forest cabin. I chose dry, sturdy oak branches that retained their original shape. The biggest challenge was connecting the irregularly shaped round logs. Square wood is easy to measure, but round wood comes in countless shapes. How do you make the horizontal bar fit snugly against the vertical post without rotating? The sun was setting behind the dense foliage in the distance. Standing on the porch, I gazed at the fruits of my labor after days of hard work. My hands were calloused, my body exhausted, but my soul felt light. This house is not just a shelter from the rain and sun. It is proof that humans can live in harmony with nature, cherishing every piece of wood, every branch. But winter is coming, and the cold in the old forest is terrifying. Will this house be warm enough when the snow blankets everything? I will need a fireplace, a chimney, and a supply of firewood. And how will I handle this clean water system up high? The journey of survival and completing this home is still long. Thank you for your patience in accompanying me today. Please subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming winter challenges. Wishing you a day full of energy. Goodbye and see you again on our next exciting journeys.